Okay, we are live, even though people will probably just watch this on YouTube at some point, or they'll
Mhm.
get the link later when I have it published. But hi, been a hot minute. Welcome to another episode of Cosplay Bites, the show about cosplay conventions and all the nerdy bits and bytes. I am very happy to once again have Maru with me for this
Hello.
episode. How's your day so far?
Um, it's really good. I'm on the West Coast, so it's only 9:30 a.m. here. So I was like doing computer work while I was waiting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so my
Yeah.
day kind of. Oh, and I turned on my 3D printers. I'm printing something, so I had to get that going.
Ooh, ooh, fun. But in any case, so originally, when we were playing this episode out, we were going to talk about Fanime, which was, I don't know, a month or
At
two
the end
ago,
of May. At the
end of
end of
May.
May. Yeah.
And then you were busy with stuff going on to a point where you said it would be better to wait until after Anime Expo,
I was
which
very
had jet.
busy
Yeah.
for June.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I can imagine because AX just happened 2 weeks ago. It was 4th of July weekend, but yeah. So I guess we're just gonna. Hopefully, you'll be in store for an extra long episode as we dive into both of those cons, along with other topics that I was able to do some research and come up with. But I guess we'll start with Fanime. So that is was it a 3-day convention?
Yes, actually, it's a 4-day convention. It's on your because I'm Canadian. It's on your guys' Memorial Day weekend. We in Canada have like a long weekend before it. It's Victoria Day,
Oh,
so
okay.
we get that. That's our 3-day weekend, and the next weekend is the American 3-day weekend, Memorial Day. So we
Interesting.
only went down for the 3 days because Kevin, my husband, works, so he could only get one extra day off.
Right.
And yeah, it was really good though. I think it's like AX where you could do 3 days and still experience the full. Well, I don't know about AX.
Yeah.
AX is huge, but you
Oh
could still
God.
experience the
Oh
full con
God.
in 3 days.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was able to do all 4 days of PAX East this year, a few months ago, like as a member of the media, and even still, I was just like, I mean, I guess size wise, I don't know how big Fanime is, but I mean, based on what I saw of Anime Expo, PAX East is very, very small in
Anime
capacity.
Expo is the largest anime convention in North America. So, like
Oh,
over 100,000 people attend Anime Expo. So it's like a medium sized city in downtown Los Angeles, a city of weebs.
oh yeah.
Fanime, I don't know how many people attend Fanime. To me, Fanime is like AX Light because it's the same people that attend, because it's also in California, and
Right.
it's kind of like a bigger Sakura con. I'm not really familiar with too many cons on the East Coast because I've only ever been to Katsucon, and Katsucon I think is larger than Fanime. So.
I would believe it. Yeah. I mean, I'm only familiar with East Coast cons. I've never been on a West Coast con before. I'd love to at some point, but yeah, just kind of
It's so expensive to fly.
restricted financial wise to travel.
Yeah, like even me, it's like, wow, it's so cheap for us to fly to, like Washington when we drive to Washington, but like fly to California, even like flying to like Las Vegas isn't bad. But as soon as you fly to the other side, it gets quite expensive. So
Yeah.
we have to we'll maybe do one East Coast con a year because not only is it expensive, you need an extra day or like 2 extra travel days because of the time change, right? And it's like you're traveling all day.
Oh
So
yeah.
when we
Yeah.
do KatsuCon, we travel last time we traveled all Wednesday, checked out the Smithsonian and the White House and like Capitol Hill and all that. And we
Mm.
had like that day. And then we left like Monday and traveled on Monday. So it's like it's like you're
If you
spending all that
yeah
time.
if you're coming from like the other side of the country, it would be ideal, like you said, to just take an extra couple of days before the con to just get there, adjust to the time change so that you're
The
not.
time change isn't that bad though. Like it's only 3 hours. Like I've done a 15-hour or whatever the time difference is between PST and whatever Japan time is.
Oh,
That's a time change. Like 3 hours.
God.
3 hours.
Oh my
Like,
God.
even if 5 hours, like I know a couple photographers I met from Hawaii this year and talking to them, and I'm like, how's the time change? Like, oh, it's okay. It's like it's not 3 hours, it's 4 or 5 hours, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping to actually go to the West Coast for the first time to visit a cosplay friend of mine and stay at her place, but I mean, sudden bills that came out of nowhere, plus upcoming vet bills for my kitten, and it's just no, never mind. Maybe later on in the year or next year we can try to plan something
Hopefully
out.
you can
But
make it out to the West Coast. The West Coast and East Coast cosplay communities, to me, are like they're very different. Like West Coast
yeah,
people are one way, and then East Coast people are another way. But
Yeah.
I mean, I've only ever been to 2 East Coast. I've only ever been to CatsCon, so I mean, what do I
right,
know? That's just like my observation.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, so you live on the West Coast now? Like you moved down from Canada?
I live in Canada. I live in Vancouver, BC, which is
Oh, okay.
so if you like it's like it's a Canadian Seattle is how I describe it. So Seattle's like here in Washington, and like 3 hours north is me in Vancouver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we
No, I go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so we spend a lot of time in Seattle. Like we will go down for SakuraCon, and we're doing Emerald City Comic Con again, just because we could drive down, and it's nice to drive because I have giant props that I don't make for travel, and I'm like, oh, we can bring the big props, yay!
Yeah, yeah,
And it's just
yeah.
nice to have a car because then we can like on the way down, there's like outlet malls, and like I'm a Canadian girl, and we live in a frozen wasteland, as I like to joke. And we don't have things like Panera bread, so there's Panera bread on the way down. So I'm like, gotta get that macaroni and cheese, baby.
Oh my God, they're broccoli and cheddar in a bread bowl.
I've never had that. That's a lot of carbs. I mean, like when you order the mac and cheese, they're like, here's some bread with your macaroni and cheese. You're like, wow, carbs with my carbs. Thank you.
Okay, no, I had a. I mean, I remember you're from Canada. I just got slightly confused when you're talking about moving down or like
I
3 hour
wish I
time
could
difference.
immigrate. Holy, that would make me so happy. I would love to be an American citizen. Oh, get me out of this country.
Oh God.
But it's very hard to immigrate to Canada or to the USA.
You sure you want to come down here with all the shit we
Yes.
got going on?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I will trade Canadian problems for American problems.
Okay. Sorry, women just lost some of their rights here. Oops.
Well, you have to look at it in the sense that you have to do what's best for you, and that Roe v. Wade law, as much as like I'm pro personal freedom and pro personal choice with your body, it wouldn't affect me because if I got pregnant, I'd just keep the baby. But like Canada has its own problems. Like I think a lot of people think Canada is this wonderful like liberal dream with like free health care and oh, everybody's so nice. Canada is not. We make probably on average like 30% less than the average American. So we have very low purchasing power. A lot of our stuff here is super expensive because the companies will just, because we're America's neighbor, we just buy everything in US dollars. So Canadians, everything is more expensive in Canada because we're essentially paying for it in US dollars with our Canadian monopoly money. Housing is unaffordable here. Like there are like 2 places to live and they're like nigh unaffordable. And it would be okay if you could get like well-paying jobs, but Canada doesn't have well-paying tech CEO jobs like a lot of places in the States do with super expensive housing. So like if you live in San Francisco, you could get a job that could sort of support like your living style there. You could afford something there. I mean, San Francisco is a bad example because it's just as expensive as Vancouver, but in Vancouver it's like you could be a lawyer or an accountant or like a CEO of a company and you still can't afford to live in Vancouver. Like it's just because we don't a lot of investments that people would make, especially in the past, that's like pumped our housing market. People would, instead of investing in like companies and businesses and like stuff like that, they would invest in housing, which is fine because like housing appreciates, but it doesn't do anything for the economy. So we're just in this nigh unaffordable thing. Also like America, there's so many different places you could live. Like California. I mean, California's super expensive, but that's my understanding. Like definitely tell me if I'm wrong, because I am a Canadian and I know like this much. But like if you moved like to the Midwest, or I've heard like Vegas, maybe. Like I know a lot of people in Vegas that have said Vegas is cheap, but it's now getting expensive. But you could go to the Midwest and you could live in like Montana and be like, oh, it's beautiful here. Or you could like live in Arizona, or like you could live in Florida. I would love to live in Florida. That's like my American like dream. I'm like, I'm gonna immigrate. I'm gonna live in Florida with the crocodiles and the swamp and the beach. Is gonna be wonderful. In Canada, you could live in Vancouver if you can afford it. You live in Victoria if you can afford it. You could live in Toronto if you can afford it. Everywhere else is iffy at best. And it's also like my province, which is the Canadian equivalent of a state.
Right.
It's all also unaffordable. So like I'm from northern British Columbia, and even in my hometown, houses are nigh unaffordable. Like you could have a $500,000 house, but there's no jobs in this small town that pay enough money for you to afford your $500,000 house. So you see where I'm coming from, where, you know, each country has its own problems. It's just like, which do you choose, right? I know some people too, like I have a friend, he's diabetic, and I hear about his medical bills and I'm like, oh my God. And it's like, for him, like he'd love to live in Canada, right? Like, because it's so expensive, and I totally understand that. I just think we need like an adopter program, like we could trade. I could go live my Florida dream and you could come up to Canada, and you know, I don't know what you do here, but
I don't know.
Anyways, that's my spiel about my country. Like I people like, oh, you're so lucky you're in Canada. It's like,
about that. Let me paint you reality for a hot second here.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways,
well, so that's
Canada.
The slightly political, cultural segment of the show. Back to weebs.
Yeah, the weebs are nice. Like, let's not talk about my like frozen wasteland of a country.
Yeah, we won't, and I won't talk about ours.
Yeah, I know America has its problems. Like, it definitely does. Like I will say, the last time I was in Los Angeles, I could not believe the homelessness. Like, it's disgusting. It was disgusting. It's like, oh my God, what is going on here? It's like you feel like you're in a movie. You're like, why is everything like, it's like a wasteland here. When we were there, they had cleaned it up. It was not as bad. I was pleasantly and happily surprised. It was really good to see. Like, it was clean. Like, I wasn't looking for like human poopy on the ground, you know? You're like, oh, well, I don't feel unsafe here, like in Los Angeles. Like, you sort of, between your walk from wherever you're staying to the convention, we've always stayed within walking distance, and this time where we stayed, we did not have a sketchy walk. It was nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it didn't, there was only one spot that smelled like pee, like, you know what I mean?
Only one.
Only one pee spot.
So you went for 3 days. Did you cosplay for each of the days?
Of course.
All right. What outfit did you bring?
For Fanime?
For Fanime.
I brought my Hannah Alexander Aerith cosplay. I brought my Tara cosplay, and I brought my Triss Marigold cosplay that I spent 6 months on during peak pandemic when shipping was all screwed up.
Oh yeah. Oh geez. Yeah. How did you feel like the reception was for each of those outfits?
I was mobbed by photographers and people telling me how beautiful I was. Yay. It was like so nice. I was like, I could not do anything. Like, I think I went inside once, and that was all I had time for. I was just mobbed, and you know, it's like so nice, and like I can't say no. I'm like, even if I'm like tired or like I want to sit down, I'm like, no, you could have a photo, you know. And it's like sometimes like I worry that like I'm like talking to everybody and I don't want to like blow anybody off who just wants to say something nice or take a picture. And like people in California and in the States in general are so nice. Like, everybody is so nice, and it feels like so good. But yeah, I was very, very busy at Fanime, and I think too is like people haven't seen each other since the plague, as like what's his face from the Witcher show says.
Oh yeah, it's the plague.
Yeah, and I think like everybody's just in like a super good, friendly mood. The vibe is like immaculate. Even my first convention back was like a local comic book convention in Vancouver, and I remember it being so busy, which is very unusual for Vancouver because we don't really have in American terms, Vancouver is a small city, even though it's a large city in Canadian terms. So we don't have a lot of people, and it's unaffordable, so people don't have a lot of disposable income.
Sure.
So it was so busy, which is so unusual. Like lines in like the artist alley were just packed. And I was talking to a friend and I was like, wow, it's so busy. I've never seen a convention like this. And like even my friends with artist tables were like, I've made more money at this first convention than I ever have. And I think it's just people are just so happy to be back and so happy to be with their like weeb friends. And like SacreCon had that vibe. Fanime had that vibe. Anime Expo had that vibe. So I think it's just people are very happy to be back, and it's like new and novel because we haven't been doing. Well, America's different. Like there's some places that have been doing conventions, but in Canada at least we were just allowed to start in 2022. So
yeah, I know it was just very nice to see friends that I haven't seen in literal years. When I went back to PAX East, and I get to spend time with a lot of them, and just go to a couple of panels and just roam around, and it was just nice to be within that con atmosphere again.
Was it very busy at PAX? I mean, I've been to PAX West. I don't really I haven't wanted to attend a PAX in like years because I think like at least the West Coast one has started sucking up. I've heard good things about the East Coast one though.
I mean, the East Coast is personally and it continues about that. I mean, I may be a bit biased because they were the first con that I was able to get a media pass under my own work, but I've had tons more fun there in meeting up with friends than I did at the last time I went to New York Comic Con.
I'd love to go to New York Comic Con. I know my husband and I were like looking at cons. We're like, we should go to New York. And I'm like, yeah,
no,
con in like do like 3 days of New York.
Cool.
Like I'd love to visit New York.
I mean, I'm in the same vein of like, you know, bucket list. So let me just do San Diego 1 year.
My husband went to San Diego Comic Con in like 2000. Like it was before he met me. So I was going to say like 2008 or something. And he said and this is before me and before like this was because his sister wanted to go. So he took his sister and he said it was like the internet in real life. And I don't know how it is now, but he said it was really cool. I don't think San Diego Comic-Con is really on our bucket list because I think it's very difficult to get tickets for. And I think
get tickets for, and then 2008.
I think it's 2008. I think
that before Iron Man?
He's not here, so I can't ask him. He's at work. I'm trying to think. Maybe it was Iron Man.
I'm trying to. Yeah, it would have like probably right around the time when Iron Man came out because it was before things were going to blow up with Marvel's end, with DC's end on films, before it become like the whole. Oh, it's all about Hall H and what movies and news are we going to see from Marvel and DC this time around. So, yeah, he went just in time before it became a madhouse.
Yeah. I like New York, yes, because I'd love to visit New York. But San Diego Comic-Con, I know I have a couple friends who go, and I'm like, have fun. I don't care. It's not for me. I'm not a comic book person. I don't watch any. I like Thor Ragnarok, and I like the what's the one with the raccoon?
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, those are the ones I like. I don't care about any other ones. I like those two. Those are my favorite movies from Marvel. I don't know anything. I'm like, oh, that's Thanos. He's the meme guy.
Well, that actually kind of ties into one of the things I have written down here. So, I mean, based on what you told me, it seems like you're more into, I guess, gaming and anime, sort of.
Not even anime, just video. I have like 3 things I like. I have 3 things I like. I like 3 things I really like, and that's Dark Souls, Final Fantasy, and Legend of Zelda. I like those 3 things. And then anything else is just like, oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, I like that. But like, I love Berserk. Okay, Berserk is like the one exception. Like, I love the 1997 anime. I think that's what I kind of. He's got all the manga behind me. Yeah. So like, that's like I like. like I know like, oh, that's what's her face from Spy Family. I know like, okay, that's the Attack on Titan, but I don't consume it because I'm just like I'm very picky about what I consume, because like anime, you gotta sit down and watch it. And if I'm gonna sit down and watch it, it needs to be worth my time.
You gotta hook me in with the first 3 episodes or I'm out.
Yeah, or it just has to be, there just has to be something about it that I find that like really grips me, because like it's like TV, and I mean like if you like anime, that's fine. It's like lots of people just consume TV. Like I think there is a lot of crap, but there is also like awesome stuff. And I don't want to do the crap. I will only take the time if it's awesome. Like I watched Demon Slayer, and normally like that anime would strike me as just like, oh, it's just like a shonen anime, but it's very beautiful and the music is really good. And I'm like, okay. I'm like the plot, like, and like the plot is like, okay. The voice acting is like, okay, yeah, sure. But the music and the animation, I'm like, okay, we'll do it for the music and the animation. And the characters look really cool. Like I'm rocking the Inosuke hair. Somebody told me I had Inosuke hair, and I'm like, I'm never dyeing it again. Just be Inosuke forever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like for me, I'm more into like the gaming and comic book, and like for the life of me, I cannot get into anime as a parent. Like so many other like cosplayers and content creators I know, like they're all big in anime. I'm just sitting there like, good for you. I can't do it. I watched a very obscure 1990s anime called Tekkaman Blade, because I played Tatsunoko vs. Capcom on the Wii, and I kind of like some of the characters on the Tatsunoko side. My dad watched Speed Racer growing up. It's like, of course, yeah. An old one. I think I just watched Naruto when it first came out, but then fell off because it's too many episodes. And
yeah, I'm a little old for Naruto. I think like my anime journey was like I watched like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball like every other kid.
Yeah.
Same here. And then when I was in high school, I had lots of weeb friends in high school that, I mean, to this day, I like my one. I don't know what happened to her. I think about her because her birthday, we watched the anime Slayers, and it's like this super 90s style anime. I love 90s style anime. It's one of my favorite.
Oh yeah, me too.
Products. Yeah, it looks so cool.
I've tried so many times to sit down and finish watching the original Cowboy Bebop. I can't do it.
Yeah, my husband and I are watching that one. It's a slow burn. I think with Cowboy Bebop, you don't think of it as something with a plot. It's more of like a sort of an art form you consume. Like the music and the animation are very good, and like it's just like a treat for the eyes. Like it's like it's like I don't treat it as a really coherent story. I like Slayers, and then I watched Neon Genesis Evangelion, which is probably that, and Berserk are my favorite animes of all time. And Kevin always teases me. He's like, "That's why you're so weird. You watch that weird like Freudian Carl Jung anime," and I'm like, "Yeah, I like it. It's cool." And then I watched Berserk, and then I've seen like I think Samurai Champloo is another anime I watched that I love, and it's by the same studio that did Cowboy Bebop. It's very good. It has like a hip hop bend to it. It's very good. Nujabes did the music. He unfortunately passed away, but if you like hip hop and music and like samurais, I definitely recommend it. It's not like anything to like blow your mind like philosophically. It's just really fun and cool. I also recommend Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That one is good because my we've been trading husband binged it. Like anytime I look, he'd just be watching Full Metal Alchemist, and I'd be like, "Oh, I like this episode. I'm gonna sit down and watch it." That is also an excellent anime. Do not sleep on that one. It's so good. It's long, but
all right. I'll have to find some time. All I know is I'm not touching One Piece with a 10-foot pole.
No, I have lots of friends that are like, "You should watch One Piece," and I'm like, "That's 1,000 episodes, isn't it?" I said there's one Piece statue I like, and it's of the character Boa, and she's a sexy pirate. And I know some of the characters. I'm like, that's Luffy, that's the little moose thing, that's Nami, that's Boa, that's Robin, and that's all I know.
Sanji and Zoro and
Zoro. Okay, I know Zoro because one of my friends really likes Zoro. She actually she had a picture under her Instagram story where she was like, buy a Zoro cutout, and she's like, my husband. I was like, he's yours. You should take him. I'm like, just take him. She's like, I asked. They said I couldn't. I was like, are you gonna let that stop you? Steal the cardboard, Zoro. He's yours.
Oh man. Getting back to your outfits from Fanime, I mean, you did two girls from Final Fantasy.
Yes.
Yes to me, because I love Final Fantasy, and
Same.
I mean Kingdom Hearts was my gateway into Final Fantasy.
Really? I was gonna say I kind of feel bad for you. I'm like Kingdom Hearts is like a shitty Zelda. I'm sorry. I like Kingdom Hearts. I like Kingdom Hearts 1.
I mean, like I'm in for the rest of my life. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah. I have another friend, and he's a big Kingdom Hearts fan. Yeah. I like the original. I like the second one. After that, I kind of fell off because, like, in my opinion, they're just not as good Zelda games. And I'm not that big into Disney. And as sort of the games got further along, there were less Final Fantasy, so I was just less interested. Yeah, I'm like, I'll just play Zelda. It's the same gameplay experience, but better.
Yeah, 3 pretty much didn't have any Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah, I heard that.
Until the DLC came around, but even then, it's just like, I hope 4 mixed it up. I hope
the other thing about 3 is like 3 came out in like early 2020, I think, and all the movies were like from 10 years ago. Like, because I believe Tangled came out in 2008 or something. Because like Tangled was in it, Toy Story was in it, Frozen was in it. I was like, Tangled, these were movies from like 10 years ago.
I mean, Toy Story was 95.
Well, Toy Story's had sequels though, but yeah,
Frozen 2013.
Yeah, it's like these Disney movies aren't even relevant anymore. Unless like I feel like if you're doing classic Disney movies, it's a little different, but I wouldn't really consider like Frozen or Tangled classic. They just don't have the time.
Yeah, Big Hero 6 2014, and then Pirates 3 was 2007. Jeez.
Yeah, they put Pirate. Yeah. I was like, well, like Pirates was in the second one too, because I remember Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, but
was it fun to play? I looked at it and I was like, this looks like a mess.
Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah.
It was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, I think
that's like me. I'm like, they're like, what do you think about Stranger of Paradise? And I'm like, I haven't played it yet, but I probably will enjoy the hell out of it. And other people will be like, oh, it's not Final Fantasy, but it's not Dark Souls. And I'm like, that's okay. If it has Final Fantasy on it, I will play it and I will probably enjoy it regardless of how bad it is. I was like, I don't think Final Fantasy 15 is a good game. I think that is not a very good game, but I enjoy it.
I mean, I loved it because I mean, it gave me Prompto to cosplay as, and like the story was very good.
Really?
Well, okay, probably until stuff made more sense when all the DLC came out.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I was like, if the game didn't have a movie, an anime, another anime, and 4 DLCs, and it was just all in one, I think that would have made a huge difference.
Right.
I think for me, that game, the game mechanics sucked, but the boys were wonderful. I love the boys. Like the boys, I'm like, I play this game for the boys. Like they carry the game.
Yeah.
Like all their fun banter. Like that was the best part about the game. Yeah, road trip for pussy, right?
Oh my god. And then, well, so I'm very stoked because last year I went to my first gaming concert in Boston, and it was for Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
Oh, cool.
And that was really incredible. But then a couple weeks ago, or maybe a month or two ago, I got an email from the same orchestra organization that, you know, they're doing Distant Worlds, the Final Fantasy concert series. They're bringing it to Boston. And I just impulse bought a ticket for me and my best friend. So that's in this November. But then hearing the other stuff that's coming out of it, it's like the vocalist Ricky, who did the Final Fantasy X theme song, she's going to be there.
Oh, that's so cool.
And they're going to do it.
I love
and
that.
She's performing. So I'm thinking, oh, shit, we're going to see that song like played out. Because that 10 was my first Final Fantasy.
That's a good intro to Final Fantasy.
And my very first, my all-time favorite.
Mine too, actually.
But then also hearing that Yoko Shimomura is going to be in attendance, and I'm like, okay, yeah, she did 15, but then like
she did Kingdom Hearts.
The goddess of Kingdom Hearts. I'm like fucking losing my mind. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, you know, that's like the one thing about the Kingdom Hearts music not so much, because Kingdom Hearts has like all right, I love Udada Hikaru. All right, she's the queen, okay? Like I like Kingdom Hearts for her, like I love her. Like she's awesome. I love her. I love her music. Like she's got this wonderful like English Japanese pop thing going on. Anyways, but yeah, I feel like the Kingdom Hearts music, especially like the themes for the characters, like the menu theme is very iconic. Whereas I feel like for Final Fantasy 15, the music doesn't stand out like it does in some of the other games. And I think that's because like she's probably just a different kind of composer. Like you can think of Yuna and you can hear her theme song in your head. And you can think of Auron and you can hear the theme song in your head. It's like can you like I don't have a piece of music where I could associate with like Noctis or Gladio or like Arden, because the music is not it's like almost designed differently. And I mean Final Fantasy VIII, the interesting thing about the Final Fantasy VIII soundtrack is that there are no character themes. The music was designed for like moments and parts of the story. So instead of Eyes on Me being like Renoa's theme in like all its like different arrangements, it's the theme of love, because it's also associated with like Julia and Laguna and like Laguna and Rain, and like the song Ami, which it's almost Selfie's theme, but it's always played when the party is together because it's the song of friendship. In Final Fantasy 14, it's played because Final Fantasy 14 has it's one of my favorite raids because I love Final Fantasy 8. It has like it's played in the Eden raid series, which is about two girls, and it plays for the two girls, and honestly it like brought me to tears. I'm like, I'm so sad. It's so nostalgic and so it's not sad. It's just nostalgic, and it's like because you, at least for me, I sort of understand why the music is being played. And Soken did a wonderful job arranging it. I think his arrangement of Blue Fields is better than Uematsu, but
I mean, my opinion. So I mean, I did start Final Fantasy 14, but I kind of had to stop because of finance reasons. I got all the way up to I'm in the bridge between Stormblood and Shadowbringers.
Oh, you quit before it gets really good.
I know I did. I'm like, because I keep hearing like everyone told me like, because like when I was looking through like all the expansions, like everyone raved about like A Realm Reborn. Everyone raved about
nobody raved about A Realm Reborn. Well, Realm Reborn is like, this is better than it was. We'll take it. Okay. Heavensward is really good.
And then Shadowbringers and then Endwalker, and I'm like, why does no one talk about Stormblood? Because
Stormblood
because it's a lot of setup. That's what it is. It's a lot of setup, and it pays off in the next two expansions. Like, okay. I totally understand why everyone.
Is that true? Is Stormblood a lot of setup? I don't know.
From what I heard from other FF14 players, I mean, I don't know.
I just felt that the story, it's because it takes place in two spots, right? You have like Lise in Alamigo and Yatsuyu in Doma, and like everything's waifus for me. So I'm like, you got Lise and you got Yatsuyu, the nice girl, and then we can fix her girl. And I think just having the plot split that way is it's not good for like good linear storytelling. You know what I mean? Because most of the time, Final Fantasy stories are quite linear.
Right.
I felt like, I don't know that. Because to me, like playing along and then Shadowbringers just kind of came out of nowhere. Like I was like, wait, what? The Crystal Tower? Grahadi is there? What? It's like, okay. So to me, that expansion came out of nowhere. But that's this Shadowbringers story is very like contained. So it's like on rails. It's super linear. It's great. It's like the same way like Final Fantasy X is a great story because it's on rails. It's super linear. The pacing is perfect. There's like really great moments, and you just Endwalker. I would say the story is. I enjoyed Endwalker a lot because it's sort of the end of everything, and like
Yeah.
I don't think it's quite as good as Shadowbringers because Endwalker has some pacing problems. People are like, oh, it has. My friend is like, oh, it has writing problems. I'm like, I think the pacing is a little harder to deal with, especially with an MMO. Like an MMO, if you're doing a story-oriented MMO, I think it's very hard to have it well paced like a traditional JRPG. Like people talk a lot of shit on Final Fantasy 13, but that has one of the most well paced like hallway. This game is to tell you a story, and hopefully you will enjoy getting 5 stars. And I'm like story, music good, 5 stars good. All right, we're in. Also, all the girls are really hot. I love all the girls in that game. I'm like the boys. Like I like Snow.
Yeah.
Like Snow's a good guy. Like he's nice.
Yeah.
He's kind of obnoxious. He's like the Chad Snow. I'll defend Snow till I die. Snow and Vinail, I will defend them. They're my favorite in Final Fantasy 13.
Saz just wants to be a dad, man.
Yeah, I like Saz too.
Yeah.
Saz, like I like Saz too. Yeah. Saz is good. I think Hope is my least favorite.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah, I'm like I don't really connect a lot with Hope. I'm like I feel like Vivi was like a better. It's like Vivi was like sympathize with him because he has this whole existential crisis. Like, what is my life? Who am I? What am I? You know?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think 9 was the last Final Fantasy I played for the first time.
Oh really?
Yeah.
The last one I played for the first time. Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
Yeah. Speaking of which, oh my god, I can't wait for part 2, but then realizing how soon it is, it blows my mind even further.
Yeah, I feel like this is how it's gonna go, because we're gonna get Crisis Core. I'm hoping in December, because like I don't know when Square Enix closes their financial year, but generally how these things work is they spread their big releases out throughout financial years, so their income statements and stuff like that, right? So I'm hoping Crisis Core we get in like December, and then next year we'll get Final Fantasy 16, and then the year after we will get Rebirth. Just because I think that's if I was the CEO, Princess of Square Enix, that's how I would do it.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super my husband's never played Crisis Core, so I'm like, oh well, I've played Crisis Core, so we're gonna play it on the PS5 together, and
then we're gonna cry together. Yeah, we're gonna cry.
You know what? I didn't cry at the end of Crisis Core because I knew it was gonna happen. Like there's no like,
I mean, you knew it was gonna happen, but it's like
I don't know. I didn't like, to me, like a lot of people really love Zack, and I'm like, oh yeah, he's just this happy guy. Like I was just never attached to Zack. I'm attached to Aerith. I'm like I will bawl when she dies. Like I don't know, but yeah, the Crisis Core ending never hit me that hard. I was just like, yeah, that's how he dies, like a man, and you know. It is what it is. For me, it's because like I knew it was gonna happen, and I guess like I like emotionally prepared myself for it.
Yeah.
I'm more excited to see the Costa del Sol scene in the Final Fantasy 7 Remake engine in hopefully at the time maybe 4K on my TV. Yeah, everybody in those games are so hot. Like my husband and I were playing FF7 Remake. He's like, God, everybody's so horny in this game. And I'm like, yeah, well, look at everybody.
Yeah. And
like I wish more games were like, we're gonna make everybody hot, equal opportunity hot. And I'm like, yeah. More games should do that.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14's like that too. Equal opportunity hot.
Equal opportunity.
They're potatoes.
I mean, like I heard the comparison that like all the scenes that Barrett had where Marlene were like Disney quality family time, and it's like, yeah, you're right, they were pretty damn powerful. Like,
yeah,
my God.
I always never like Barrett was like, what I liked about Barrett in the original is he was almost like a sort of sneaky unstereotype, because because like he adopted this daughter who wasn't his, and he does everything for her, when sort of the other stereotype is like, we won't talk about it because it's not very nice. And that's what I really enjoyed about Barrett's character. And I think in Final Fantasy VII Remake, they've really, really expanded that, and then showed like how charismatic he is, how passionate he is, how like he just wants to preserve the future for his children. And I think that's like that's like that hits me right here. Like, yeah, I love too that how they got actual kids to voice the little girl, like the kids in Final Fantasy VII Remake. So it makes them feel like so much more real, and you feel so much more attached. Like when Aerith was bringing Marlene out of the bar, I was like in tears. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so adorable. We have to help her. I'm like, Aerith, just kick Sang in the balls and run. I'm like, quick, grab the bar stool.
The bar stool. In terms of the cosplay that you bought to Fanime, did you have more fun wearing one more than the other? Like, was it more comfortable for you in certain outfits? Or
I would think that the weather was nice. So weather is always a huge thing for me when I plan to bring cosplays to places like California, where it's a lot warmer than it is where I live. So like I like to say, and this is sort of how I approach. I've tried to approach conventions in like, especially since 2019, since I've gotten a lot better at constructing things and like planning for conventions. I'm thinking, okay, so Fanime is San Jose, so it's the Bay Area, so it's a little windy, it's nice and sunny, but it's not like cooking like Los Angeles is. So I could generally wear any cosplay I wanted that wasn't something like Lulu or Melina or like Winter Zelda. So the cosplay closet was my oyster, so to speak. So I just chose the cosplays that I thought were really pretty, because the other thing is Fanime has wonderful like shoot locations. Like, as long as you're respectful, you can go into some of the hotels in the lobby, and as long as you're respectful and you don't make a big scene or you're not obnoxious, you can take photos in the lobbies. And like the Westin lobby is really nice. I don't think it's the Sheraton anymore. It's got a different hotel name. The Sheraton is really nice. There's also like this fountain area. There's like a park. There's like this church. Like back to like one of the coolest things I love about America that Canada doesn't have unless you go back east is America's a lot of really old looking architecture. Like this church, like it's like a 10-minute walk away from the convention center. It has these beautiful columns that are like Roman columns. And it's Canada, we don't have anything like that because like we don't have taste. Like we don't have beauty.
All right.
And those of us that do, we get out. Anyways, it's just such a cool, beautiful building, and like I just brought cosplays that I thought that would like go well with the architecture and also
fit with the shoot. Okay,
right, So with like Aerith, it's like a corset in the back, and my husband just like tightens me up, and it's a comfortable. The shoes were high heels, so my feet hurt by the end of the day, especially because like I was just like. I never got bored. Sometimes when I get bored at conventions, I'm like, oh, let's just change out and like have comfortable shoes and do something else. But like I just wasn't bored because I was like talking to people, doing photo shoots and all that. So my feet hurt by the end of the day. And then like Tara's the same thing, like corset, comfortable. One of my things I like to do is sew thigh-high socks to dance tights so your socks aren't falling down. And the only time that's not a good idea is if it's really hot or the cosplay you're wearing, the bottoms just wouldn't suit dance tights very well because they are very high-waisted. So for my Jessie that I wore, I actually didn't wear dance tights, and I just struggled and pulled my socks up because, you gotta suffer a little bit in cosplay, or it's not cosplay.
Right.
So. Yeah, and Triss is comfortable. The one thing with Triss is I built it in 2020, so the way it stays up is sort of it's like we taped it just like because it's low back and it's low front. We just had to tape everything. And the other thing is it's like the thing with the Tara and Triss is like they both have trains, so it's something that you have to keep track of. Like I have to make sure nobody steps on it. I have to like carry it with me. So that's like one of the other things. That was a little bit annoying, but it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. That was a lot. That was great. So I guess before we dive into, if there's anything else you wanted to talk about or mention regarding your time at Fanime?
Well, Fanime is
Any
fun.
moment that stood out or fun vendors you checked out if you went shopping?
Oh, I always go shopping.
Who doesn't?
my capacity to spend money is like increases in Artist Alley. I love Artist Alley. Yeah, I'm building this, like, when I get my house, because I don't have room in the current place I live, I'm gonna do like a big sticker mirror. So I'm gonna buy a big like full length mirror with like wide frames, and I'm just gonna cover it in stickers. So when I go to conventions now, I just go to Artist Alley and I just, like, spend like 30 to 50 USD and just buy a bunch of stickers for my sticker mirror. So I've got like quite the baggy going on here. And like some of my friends, they'll give me stickers. Like my friend, she has, like, she made VTuber stickers and she gave me one. She gave my husband one. So she gave me two. So that's nice. You get, I got some stickers. What else did I buy? I bought this beautiful Melania from Elden Ring print. It's actually on my wall behind my statue of Melania, actually, by an artist that I know, that I met at Katsucon, actually. He's an awesome artist. He does, like, all his paintings are like inspired by like old masters of like the Renaissance. So he's got this really oil painting look to him. The artist is Christian Angel, or Angel Arts. Okay. Anyways, I bought the Melania one, and I bought Ronnie as well, so I can have Melania and Ronnie. One waifu for me, one waifu for my husband. Because he likes Ronnie, and I'm like, Melania is the superior waifu. Sorry, Ronnie, I will never like Lake of Rot. No bitch is worth the Lake of Rot. Okay.
Yeah. I haven't played Elden Ring. I don't know if I ever will, because I've never.
Oh, that's so sad. Elden Ring is the best game I've played in like 10 years. Like, you should play it. Like, it is like Breath
I think
of the
Wild. I'm just too terrified to jump into the Soulsborne like genre. Like, I've never stepped in.
Here, I want to sell you on Dark Souls, okay? So, the feeling you get when you accomplish something that was like difficult. You challenged yourself and you overcame that challenge, and you're like, I did that. That's awesome. Good for me. Yeah, I'm amped. Dark Souls is like every time you beat a boss. And then the games are designed to like show you that you get better. And honestly, they don't have like a lot of games nowadays, and I think this is really sad. They have difficulty selectors at the beginning of the game, so you could be like, oh, I'm going to play on easy mode. I think that the way From Software does it, they build difficulty settings into the gameplay. So if you want to play Elden Ring the easy way, you just do a sorcery build, and you one-shot bosses with magic. Like, it's insane. Like, people will one-shot bosses with magic. It's insane.
I mean, I do tend to go towards magic builds in those types of games. Like Skyrim always went with a magic build.
Yeah, magic builds are always overpowered in Souls games. Like in Demon Souls, like Demon Souls isn't a hard Souls game, but even me, like, I picked up a couple sorceries because like this one area of the game, it just sucks if you're a melee user. I like to play melee because I like the 1v1, the
satisfaction,
just me and the boss, baby. Trading blows. I like that. But yeah, you could do a sorcery build and one-shot stuff. You can summon other people to help you kill bosses, to help you. Like, Elden Ring is really cool because it's not just bosses. You can summon people to help you with areas. And that's like the kind of co-op that's there. And like through friendship and co-op, you can overcome bosses. And there's other like things you can use. There's weapons that are really broken. Like, one of the hardest bosses in Elden Ring is Melania, the Blade of Mikola. And I heard endlessly about, oh, she's so hard. She's so hard. Oh, Melania gives me PSTD. I went in there with my Bloodhound Step Uchi Katana and my Rivers of Blood Katana. And it was like a Bloodborne fight, baby. We were trading. I was stunning her. It was fast paced. It was fun. And like within a few hours, I got her. And I was like, wow, what a blast. She's my favorite boss. And other people just absolutely struggle. And it's because I used the right strategy. There's other bosses where I was like, this boss sucks. I hate it. This is so hard. I'm so angry.
And it's because people like, went, oh no, that one was easy.
Exactly,
but really, it was easy.
Exactly. So I think that you should just give Elden Ring a try. Like, just try it. And honestly, like, people are like, oh, it's Dark Souls' bosses, but like, there's so much more than just like the bosses in Elden Ring. Like the world is incredible to explore. Like this game is like Breath of the Wild on crack. It's like way better. Like
From
Breath
what
of the
I've
Wild is
seen,
a good game,
yeah.
but Elden Ring is a better game. And I hope that Breath of the Wild 2 is just like we just did what Elden Ring did. And I'm like, wow, that's like a Blizzard move there, just copying and putting your own spin on maybe making it better. Because like I love Breath of the Wild, but man, I'm an Ocarina of Time girl. I like the dungeons, I like the bosses, I like the puzzles. Like exploring is fun, but I like dungeons better.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my solid.
Yeah, maybe if it ever goes on sale, maybe I'll pick it up.
Yeah, I think if it goes on sale, it'll be like a Steam sale because like PS5 stuff never goes on sale.
Well, I mean, that's what I would get it for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it'd be a fun game to stream at the very least.
Oh, absolutely. I have a girlfriend. She's not really a gamer, but she's been streaming all the Souls games, and she just co-ops and has fun, and it's like so cute to see. Whereas like I'm like, no, I have to solo this boss or I didn't beat it. That's how I approach the games. I'll do a cheesy build, but I won't summon.
Oh my god.
Then I won't do sorcery because I like trading. I think that part of the game is fun for me. So
yeah. I just know at the moment I cannot wait for the game Stray to come out next Tuesday.
Oh, the cat game? Yeah.
I mean, new cat dad over here. I'm just full blown into cat life, and it's like, give me the game.
I don't know if I'll play Stray. I've been playing Chrono Cross recently. And then after that, I have Stranger of Paradise sitting on my coffee table. My husband's like, "So are you gonna kill Chaos?" And I'm like, "I'm playing Chrono Cross." I'm like, I'll kill Chaos after, okay?
Yeah.
And I know another friend of mine's like, "Oh, you should play Code Vein." I've been playing Code Vein, and I'm like, I should play Code Vein. I like stopped playing Code Vein for whatever reason.
Yeah. So in terms of other types of conventions, because it seems like the one that you mentioned that you've been to so far, they're very like, I guess, anime focused or anime themed. I mean, we got Fanime, and then we were gonna go into AX for a little bit, but for you, what do AnimeCon do for you in comparison to other types of like either the PAXs or the Comic Cons?
So
like, what makes them, I guess, more appealing to you?
So first of all, PAX West. I started going to PAX West in like I think 2016 was my first PAX West, and it was fun. After that, they started not being so cosplayer friendly. So like no taking photos in the halls. The halls are really dark.
Yeah.
They just stopped really catering to cosplayers. The last time I went to PAX, actually, it was probably one of my best PAXs in a while because somebody from Square Enix messaged me and asked if I wanted a photo op in one of my cosplays on the Hardy Daytona, and I could skip the line to play the FF7 Remake demo. And my husband got to play too. So I was like, hell yeah. So that was great. So we got to skip the line. They gave us a time slot. We went in. We got to take pictures of all the posters. I got a special lanyard. It's like one of the staff ones. So it's in my sewing room. Yeah, it has all the Cloud Aerith, Tifa and Barrett on it. It's really cool, actually. I like it a lot. I don't use it because the lanyards always get dirty. So
I have that lanyard somewhere, maybe.
Yeah, it was the guy gave it to me because he liked my Aerith cosplay. So I was like, ooh.
There you go.
So that was really fun. And then I only cosplayed that one day at PAX. And then I just found that waiting in line to play a game was like, I'm not waiting 3 hours in line to play Monster Hunter. Okay, like I don't like waiting in lines. Like
that is my approach.
Okay, that's a lie. I will wait in line for Cheesecake Factory. I'll wait in line for food. For games,
that is my approach to either gaming conventions or Comic-Con when it comes to panels. Like the year FF7 Remake came out, of course I played the demo at PAX East because I was like looking forward to it. The year before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, I got a ticket to play the demo at New York Comic-Con.
Cool. I love that.
And I'm like, oh my god, like this is freaking amazing. But yeah, the game has to really hook me, or the panel has to be with someone that I really either it's a good friend of mine or it's something that I really love. And me to order put in that time investment to like wait X amount of hours or spend an hour or two in a panel, because it's like when I could just be like running around
Yeah, I remember like I did Code Vein at PAX, and the first year I went, I played Dark Souls 3 because they had an awesome Dark Souls 3, and this was before I knew what Dark Souls was. I have a picture of me in my Katarina cosplay standing by this like setup of like the Ashen one, like with a sword and all this black shit's coming out of it. It's really fucking cool. And then I thought, I was like, wow, this is so cool. I'm like, this is my aesthetic, and like I had no idea what it was. And then a year later, I picked up Bloodborne, and I'm like, where have you been all my life, Dark Souls?
Oh no.
I love Dark Souls. It's kind of, it's a problem actually. They're like, oh, there's Maru. She's gonna sell everybody on Dark Souls.
Yeah.
As for comic book conventions, I'm not a big comic book movie person. Like, I don't watch movies, with the exception I watch Dune because I love the book. I love books, like fantasy novels, like I love that, and some science fiction. I really like, but as for like movies and comic books, I'm just like not into the media. I'm not into the aesthetic. Although like because Emerald City Comic Con is fairly local and Vancouver Fan Expo is also local, I have like cosplays that I will bring. Like Tifa is popular at any convention because everybody and their mom knows who Tifa is. And like my Witcher cosplays, I feel like go with comic book conventions almost better than anime conventions because it's like a Western. Well, it's like a Western. I put Western in quotations because it's like Polish. It's different than the West here. So they sort of fit in more. And there's the TV show on Netflix, so I think people are sort of familiar with The Witcher, unfortunately, from the Netflix show, which is hot garbage in my opinion.
Okay.
It is. Henry Cavill is wonderful, okay? Henry Cavill is he's an angel. He's perfect. Everything else is hot garbage.
Okay.
I like Yaskier too. Okay, Yaskier is okay.
I'm just an easy to please person. Honestly.
I think that's okay. That's fair. Like, you know what? I'm happy people like it. If you like something, fine. You like it, that's cool. I'm glad you like it. That brings you joy. I'm happy for you. I hate it.
In my opinion,
I am exceedingly hard to please. Pardon me?
You're like, yeah, good for you. In my opinion, this is hot garbage, but good for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like if I like something and somebody's like, that's shit. And I'm like, you know what? It's my shit and I like it, okay?
Kingdom Hearts is my shit and I like it.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts isn't shit though. It's just like not my cup of tea. Like Kingdom Hearts, I understand like why people like it, and I get it. Like Kingdom Hearts is not bad. Whereas like to me, The Witcher is objectively bad. Like you can like it, but it's not good. I just think that when the game exists,
coming from someone who you played the games.
The game is good. And I think it's because the like Netflix is a North American company and they have North American producers and they tend to like North Americanize everything, whereas CD Projekt Red is a Polish company. The Witcher is from Poland. Yeah. They understand their media much more than we do here. So I think that because there's that sort of non-understanding, they just don't do it justice in my opinion. And the book, like to me, the book is like middle tier. Like in terms of fantasy novels, it's okay. There's like other stuff I think is better, but it's okay. The game though is excellent. I love the game. The Witcher 3 is an excellent game. It's why I've done so many cosplays for it because I love the game. My husband also really loves the game. It was normally I'm the gamer and he's the watcher. For The Witcher, he was the gamer and I was the watcher. So
nice trade-off. I tried to play it. I couldn't get into it because at the time it overwhelmed me way too much and gave me so much World of Warcraft vibes in terms of like the questing. Well, just the amount of quests and like the icon. I was just like, I spent too many years stuck into World of Warcraft. I can't do it again.
As a WoW player, you said it gave you WoW vibes. How much WoW did you play, and from when?
Right when the Lich King expansion came out. And then I stopped after Cataclysm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. That's kind of when I stopped, is after Cataclysm. I played from
before Myth of Pandaria came out. I stopped.
Yeah, I did too.
And then I picked it back up again, but then I stopped.
Yeah, I'm like that. I stopped at the end of Cataclysm because in my mind I had like beat the game. I played through Pandas, and my husband and I, we played together. We did all the quests because I'm a completionist, and I'm like, we gotta do all the quests to get the achievement. Okay, we gotta have big dick achievement points in this house. And then after that, we stopped. We didn't really raid, even though my friends were like, oh, come raid with us, and I'm like, I don't have time to raid. I don't want to raid. I'm sewing in my room.
Yeah.
And then I played Legion, played through the story, and then I just didn't care. And then Blizzard butchered my class in Legion, and I'll never forgive them for taking away Slice and Dice and giving me Roll the Bones. It's such utter bullshit. And that was when Blizzard and I were friends off. And then they had White Mane and Heroes of the Storm, and I'm like, all right, we're friends on again. Yeah, The Witcher to me is like not at all World of Warcraft, because like at least when I played, and they've gotten a lot better from my understanding, is like the WoW quests were very, and at least for me when I played, I never reversed myself in the World of Warcraft. I just wanted to raid and kill stuff. So I never really paid attention to any of the quests. I like earlier, before they had like the in-game quest tracker, I'd use like Thoughtbot and like Wowhead, and like you download this sketchy like app. I can't remember what the add-on was called, like Quest Tracker or Questy, I don't know. And that's how I did
that too. Yeah, way back.
Yeah, that's how I would like approach WoW. Whereas like The Witcher, all this, like I would say most of the bigger side quests, they're full like story sections. Like there's one you do, it's one of the bigger ones. He's like the Baron, and his wife has this like baby, and the baby dies, and they bury it, and it turns into this like bloodborne ass baby, and you gotta like figure it out, and it's like a mystery. It's really good. It's like, and and the crazy thing is, it's like straight out of like Slavic mythology. Like I can't remember what the thing is called, but it's an actual thing in Slavic mythology. They're like these little demon babies, you know. They're a thing.
Yeah, demon babies.
Yeah. The Witcher never gave me WoW vibes. I do feel though that it would be overwhelming because the world is very big and there's lots to explore. And after that first section in Kaer Morhen, they're like, all right, Geralt, the world is your oyster, and you can just be like, okay. So I definitely get how that would be overwhelming.
I like a bunch of other games that I would always hear about good things about, like you know, Elden Ring, or I don't know when I'd be able to pick it up and invest the time.
It's a long game. It took me. I mean, I'm a busy person, and I'm like I said, I'm a completionist, so I had like a hit list of every boss. Yeah. So it took me like 2 months to beat, but I work like all the time, so.
Yeah. Okay. Switching over to AX. It was about 2 weeks ago, and I mean, like you said earlier, like 100,000 people attended,
or more than that, but yeah, maybe like 120. I don't know. They capped attendance this year. I don't know what that means because it was just as busy as it had been in the past when they didn't cap attendance. So
yeah. You went for the whole weekend, I assume.
Yes, we stayed for the whole weekend. I wish we would have had an extra day, but alas.
How is that like?
Well, first of all, normally Anime Expo is a oven. It's a concrete oven of like 30 plus degrees, like 35 degrees. So my little Canadian body just melts and is very uncomfortable. But this year they were like, no, Maru is coming. So we're going to have nice 25-degree weather. I think that's like low 80s in American. I know.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like
I can't do. I only know one type of.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like I only know Celsius. Anyways, it's like Fahrenheit. Low 80s. I want to say.
Okay.
And which is perfect for me. Like it's not too hot. It's not cold. It's just nice. Right. And we were able to get our passes, and the lineups to go actually inside the convention weren't too bad. Like the lineup to get your COVID wristband was shitty because it was long and it was hot, and there was like sections of the line where they didn't have any shade. So my joke was like, wow, you vaccinated but you still get heat stroke waiting in these dang lines. Thankfully it wasn't that bad. We stood in line for maybe an hour and we got our wristband and we were able to go in. Okay. So we just spent like the hottest part of the day from like 12 to like 3 p.m. in the convention center, which is air conditioned, thankfully. and it was really
Yay.
good. And I think Artist Alley was probably the worst because it's like in the basement of the convention center, so there's like no windows. The air conditioning broke. I felt so
Oh
bad for the people
no.
in there, and people are just packed, and it's hot, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, what the hell, right? That kind of sucked, but like we did Artist Alley the first day, so it wasn't crazy. Like we went in on Saturday and Sunday, and I don't think we went in on Saturday. We did half the exhibitors hall, and after that we were just like, I'm done. And there was just so much to see. Like AX is like, you need to go get the 4-day pass just to see everything. Like, and that doesn't even mean like panels or like anything else you want to do. Like we needed all 4 days to see and do what we wanted.
Yeah.
But it was really good. I had so much fun at AX. It was like the best AX I think I've ever had. It was so good.
Nice. What outfit did you bring for that con?
I had 4. I had mature dress Tifa was my Friday cosplay, which had really uncomfortable shoes, but I had flip-flops in my bag, so I did it.
You had a backup.
And then I had Gerudo Zelda on my second day. It was the Saturday. And I don't know what was in the air or the concrete, but my shoes completely fell apart, which was annoying. So I went to the cosplay repair booth, and I went in there and I'm like, hey, my shoes broke. Do you have any glue? And they're like, we got hot glue, we got tacky glue. And I'm like, that's the cosplay repair booth? You don't even have like E6000 or contact cement? They're like, no, we got hot glue and tacky glue. And I'm like, oh my god, this booth is ran by morons. So I hot glued my shoes knowing that they wouldn't last because hot glue does not work on shoes. Whatever cosplayer tells you, that is wrong unless her shoes are like foam or something. But you need like a contact cement or like an epoxy glue or like a really heavy duty glue.
Yeah.
There's like horns outside. I'm so sorry. Anyways, so I hot glued my shoes and I only put them on for photos. So if I was standing there being mobbed for photos, I'd just switch out my shoes and I'd stand there. And then if I had to walk anywhere, I'd put my flip-flops on. And then I had my, on Sunday, I wore my Final Fantasy 14 dancer cosplay, which I had spent most of June working on. I think it took me 3 weeks to finish the whole thing. Okay. And I had, and thankfully my shoes didn't break for that one. And I also went to like a studio with a friend of mine to shoot it, which was really cool because like LA has awesome studios. They're also super cheap. Which is awesome. Yeah, it's like why don't we have this in Vancouver? And I was like, oh yeah, rent is like hundreds of thousands. Well, it's not hundreds of thousands. It's unaffordable. It's unaffordable. So we don't have anything like that in Vancouver. So it was really cool to go to a studio to shoot. And then the Monday, I wore my Jessie cosplay with shorts and socks because I'm not wearing cargo pants with leggings underneath at Anime Expo.
No, why would you?
Yeah. And I have done the full cosplay. So you know what? Give me my fan service butt out Jessie, okay? Let me have this. It's hot.
I earned this. Oh man. Any like standout vendors or moment from that con that you had?
Oh, well, I tried to go to a party, and partying at an after party is not for me. I found out the music is too loud, the weebs are too drunk, the music is bad, and there's too many lights. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna go home and go to bed.
Okay.
Yeah. So no after parties for me. We feel like if our friends showed up and they could have got us into the VIP area, it would have been a lot better for me because I'm not a party person. I'm very introverted.
I'm not either. Not either.
Yeah. So I tried that. I went to Egg Slut twice, which was awesome. I love food that has naughty words in it, like Egg Slut. In Seattle, they have Biscuit Bitch, which was also delicious.
Okay.
What else did we do that was really good? Just LA was clean and nice for once. We stayed in our hotel was nice. Normally we stay in Airbnbs, but this time we splurged a bit and stayed at a hotel and it was awesome. yeah, just seeing all my California friends and just seeing everybody was just like super nice. It was just like so good. It's like good, like I feel like I've improved making cosplay so much that just like all the attention and it's like, oh, you know, if you're good, you get noticed and just like it was like Fanime, especially for the dancer and for Zelda. I just got completely mobbed by people wanting my picture. I did an interview with his name's Ben, and he like interviews people at comic book conventions, and he's like a YouTube channel and he's done it forever. I can't think of the name, but if you watch it,
wait.
He usually dresses as Tony Stark.
I know who it is. I know who you're talking about. I don't know what that channel name escapes me at the moment. Oh my god.
Yeah, so I've done interviews with him before, and it's always really fun because like now instead of the Staples Center, it was the crypto.com arena, and he asked me about crypto, and I know like this much about it. So he was like telling me about it, and I was like, no, it's this way. Like he's like, oh, I got Ben coin, and I'm like, nah, Ben, that's a shit coin. And after the interview, it was a really fun interview. He told me, he's like, you're the only person that like knew anything about crypto, and I was like, well, you know, I know a little bit. Yeah, I know a little bit.
I know nothing and choose to know nothing.
Yeah, it was Anime Expo was really good. It makes me hyped for like my next few conventions. So because I just enjoy going to them. I know my next one is local and it's gonna be small, but I have lots of local friends I'll be able to see. And there's like a really good restaurant down the street that has giant pretzels and mustard. So I'm gonna eat that.
Oh, God, you're making me hungry now. Yeah, I mean, I was the same at PAX East. I mean, they had their one after party that they always do. I think Predator held it, but I mean, I went one year. It was all right. I mean, I hung out with a lot of friends that time.
Oh, that's good. If you have friends to hang out with, then it's like a lot of fun.
I mean, I looked around online. It seemed like no one I knew was going, so I just like every night I tried to make plans with going out to eat with some friends at restaurants nearby. Because I mean, we're in freaking Boston. There's a lot of places nearby. But
I would love to go to Boston. I had a friend that she spent a lot of time in Boston. She went to Harvard for hockey, so she knows Boston. Yeah, I would. Boston's a place I'd love to visit. Like Boston, New York. I'd love to do Atlanta.
I'd love to do Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I really want to do Dragon Con because like there's some fantasy novel characters I'd like to cosplay, and I feel like that would be the place they'd be received at. The problem
it would be.
I'm sure it's really hot in Atlanta, and I'm like, oh no.
Oh, no. Especially if it's all contained within the one hotel. Oh,
yeah. I have a few friends who've gone to Dragon Con. They're like, you wouldn't like it. It's a party con. I'm like, but fantasy novels, man. I'm like, I'll just stay in my hotel and like, and maybe like go to like, what's it called, Waffle House?
Yeah, it's a Waffle House.
Yeah, I want to go to Waffle House.
I've never been to a Waffle House, but yep, we have a restaurant called that. Yep.
I've also really wanted to go to a Texas con. I would love to go to a convention in Texas. Texas is like one of those American cities. Like if I could pick a place to live, I'd love to live in Texas. I think like it's so cool.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, Boston is a very clean city.
Mm-hmm.
From the multiple times I went, either if it's for like job interviews I've gone to, or just like the Final Fantasy VII concert. Very clean city. I mean, New York, I've been to plenty of times due to having family down there, or used to, and I mean it can be dirty. It's a lot to take in. If you're going for your first time, I think you would enjoy it, but then after a couple other times, it's like
Yeah, I feel like most cities are like that. That's like, it's like you go, I think like because I've seen like Capitol Hill and like the White House and all those buildings and the Smithsonian, I don't think I'd go again. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen it. It's nice. It's cool. I've been there. Yeah. I wouldn't go again. It's like LA and like Seattle and like even like San Jose, San Francisco. We're like, oh yeah, it's like, it's just, it is what it is. It's not like a new and interesting and novel. Whereas like a new city, you're like, oh, what's here? What's this? Can we go see?
Yeah. So you mentioned how I think it was during AX that, I mean, you noticed that you yourself were getting much better at constructing your cosplays. I mean, I could clearly see it in the photos you were posting. They were absolutely gorgeous. I mean, like I was fangirling over all your cosplay that you were sharing at the con. So you said that you clearly were improving. You were getting noticed a lot more from like photographers and other your friend and other like fans at the con. At this point in your cosplay career lifestyle, what do you think when it comes to looking for new outfits or new characters to cosplay as? What do you hope for in challenging yourself with each new cosplay? Like, what do you look for?
Well, it depends. It's like I generally pick projects on if I like how they look. It's like I like how if they look cool or like they're my aesthetic and I enjoy that, or if I will look good in that outfit. Because there's been times in the past where I've cosplayed a character where that I've known in my heart that I don't see that character. Like Jinx. I'm not Jinx, okay? Jinx is long and long. I am small and like wide. And I just have a round face and I just like round. I'm like, I have implants. It's like I'm the opposite of Jinx. And I did a Jinx cosplay. And I have one picture of that cosplay that I actually like. And it's just like a portrait because like you don't see my body. And
Right.
and after that, I've learned one of the lessons I've learned. I was like, I will cosplay things that I think I will look good as. Like, you know, people ask me, oh, cosplay Bayonetta. And I'm like, Bayonetta's long. I'm the opposite of long.
She's a long lady, yeah.
Yeah, she's a long lady. She's got legs for days. And I mean, like, you can fake that, like, with high heels and, like, ankles and stuff. But I just, like, see Bayonetta and I'm like, Bayonetta's not me. Or, you know, there's, like, tons of characters where people will ask me to cosplay and I would just be like, that is not me, you know? And there's cosplays, like, I'd love to do. Like, my, like, Holly Wolf did a Naburu cosplay and it was beautiful.
Oh,
and I love the
shit.
the Gerudo from Ocarina of Time. But, like, for me, like, I wouldn't look good as a Gerudo because I'm a white girl. And you know what? Holly looks awesome. She's got like the nose for it, and I think that really helps.
She does have the nose. Oh,
yeah,
she
and
does.
that's like not a dig. That's like not a dig. I think that's really cool.
Like,
and
I mean,
and she looked
noses
awesome. Like... She didn't darken her skin because she knows better. But for me, like, I don't think I would cosplay from that because like the cosplay I wanted to do, like a brown girl would do, and you know, I would want the brown girl to do it because she would look way better than me, and I could fangirl over her. So that's like what goes through my mind when I pick a project. Like, I will even if I love the character, if I don't feel like I look like them or I don't feel like I would look good in their outfit, I just won't cosplay them, and I will just hype up people who do look like that and they do cosplay them, and it makes my day. So the other thing I tend to look for is like, I don't know if when I challenge myself, I have a problem of biting off more than I can chew. Like I have a problem. And the last few times I've done it, I've never been happy with the end product. Like I've never been happy. It's been a waste of time and it's been a waste of money. And I will like never wear the cosplay again. I won't like it. I won't like how I look at it. So I always look for projects that will challenge me incrementally. Like after I have a kid. And then I have a couple like I have some fixing out to do on some cosplays for Emerald City Comic Con and for AR. But after that, I have like 2 projects lined up. One, I ordered all the armor, all like the little jewelries. I ordered that from somebody else, like from the Dangerous Ladies. They are also Canadian, but they're on the other side of Canada, and they do like I get tons of 3D print files from them. They do lots of kits for like Fire Emblem and Genshin characters, and you know they've been doing lots of Final Fantasy stuff. So I got the kit for this character. It was expensive, so it's definitely a splurge cosplay, but I guess like what am I going to learn with this cosplay? Well, it's going to be sort of like my dancer where it's like sort of that bit different, which means I can put it together quite quickly. And then after that I have like another sewing cosplay. There's an Elden Ring character I really want to cosplay, but I'm waiting for more resources to be out there. I'm waiting for more people to do the cosplay so I can decide like, oh, well, I like what this person did. Oh, I don't like what this person did. How could I like see this and how could I apply it to my own knowledge? Also, like the weather is a huge thing. Like I don't want to make something like the Elden Ring cosplay in the middle of September and have to wear it and be dying of heat. So it's like a winter thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely like to plan my projects around the weather because a lot of the times all the time I have to go shoot them for content, right? So, if I make like I was lamenting that I didn't do Lady Unalesca for Anime Expo, and I was like, well,
Ooh,
I'm
okay.
probably going to
All right.
Hallmat this year. I should probably do Lady Unalesca for Hallmat. And it's like, okay, if I do it for Hallmat, I have to shoot it at Hallmat because in December here it is wet, cold, and the only thing you can drive to is snow. Like you can't drive to find warm. So
Right. Yeah.
it's like you kind of like for me, I have to think about that because we have all 4 seasons where I live. So
Right.
I also have to think about storage too. Like, oh, I've always wanted to do Idea from Final Fantasy VIII, but her big gold thing, like I'd have nowhere to store anything like that. Like even
Oh
if I
yeah.
could make it, I just would have nowhere to store it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a big yellow thing. Holy smokes.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not a big person, so for my proportions, it wouldn't be that big. But still, it's a huge piece of
It's
foam or whatever I would choose to
decent
make it
size.
out of.
Yeah.
And I have nowhere to put it. Like I'm already running out of storage. I get so attached to my anime cosplays. I'm like, oh, I can't throw it away. I made it. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
afraid if I sell it, they won't like treat it with respect and like won't give it a good
That's
home.
always a valid fear. That's always a valid fear.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll just keep them all.
How has this year been for you so far?
Oh, it's been awesome.
Pretty much.
Yeah, honestly, the pandemic, like,
yeah, content wise, I mean, cons clearly you're having a blast. I mean, you got Fanime under your belt. You got Anime Expo just happened. You got others that you're already planning for. I mean, you mentioned Hallmat, but it's. I mean, from what I've seen online, it sounds like you've just been thriving, which is awesome.
well, I mean, it's always for me. It's always a battle with the algorithm. It's always a battle with the big man. Like,
Amen to that.
yeah. So that's like that's the problem. It's not like putting in the work. It's not like delivering content. It's not creating content. Like that's all easy and fun, and I love to do it. It's just like playing by the social media rules and trying to figure. Like I was shadow banned on Twitter for a month, and it was awful. It was so crappy. Like no, like like when you get shadow banned on Twitter, it doesn't suggest you to new people, and it like and unless the people interacting with your posts like regularly interact all the time, you're not going to get anybody see it. So that's always a battle. I've like kind of sort of half given up on Instagram because like I just don't get the engagement that I used to, and I think that on Instagram, to play by the rules and not have my accounts removed, I'm not able to post some of the stuff I was posting in the past. So people are probably just less interested, even though like my photography, like the photography's gotten better, the cosplay has gotten better, the set building has gotten better, like everything's just improved. But my audience isn't interested because they either just aren't interested in what I'm doing anymore or they just don't use Instagram. So I'm thinking about moving over to TikTok, but I'm not a video person and I think I'm old and I'm losing touch with what the kids are into. So I'm like, oh, well, what do I do on TikTok? And it's like, I hear stories of women who are like, oh yeah, I was in a bikini, not doing anything. And I got my account flagged. And it's like, oh shit. Then like, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
So I think if I do TikTok, it's gotta be like crafting how I made this focused. It can't be like wiggling around to like the TikTok meme song because that would just get banned.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm with you on that. Like I just use Instagram for my cats at this point. Or showing new shit I bought or promoting new podcast episodes. I go like, because I have definitely heard and see that a lot of people do not use Instagram because of the algorithm, because of the rapid fire like swipe up that you can do to get your account banned or removed. TikTok, oh my god. You would be better off just crafting because I mean, Anya Braddock, Nicole Marie Jean, those are two of
she's always like I'm surprised she lasts on platforms as long as she does. I'm like, girl, you're playing with fire, man. Like some of the stuff she used to post on her Instagram stories, I was like, girl.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, like she
just
apparently
because there's a pie there.
She apparently got her TikTok back, but it's like it's only a matter of time before it's taken out. Because I used to help out moderate her lives, and it was just like, I mean, I was deleting comments left and right.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like her. She's really funny.
She's the person.
She's like the same age as I am, and I'm like, you get it, girl.
Yeah,
You get it.
no, same age as we are. Yeah. We're in the 30s. We're all in our 30s. We're all getting old. Oh God. Yeah, she was the person I was gonna go visit in Las Vegas, stay with her and her husband, but money.
Yeah, they have a beautiful house in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. She has like themed rooms and stuff. Like she doesn't use Instagram anymore, so I don't really see that side of. But that was always my favorite stuff to see of her. I was like, oh, she's in her space room. She's in her jungle room. She's in her 50s diner
retro
room.
diner room. Yeah. I was half curious because she's busy. I get it because it was almost like just miscommunication in trying to figure out. Because I had initially like picked out flight and then just trying to figure out the timing of like when would you be able to pick me up or drop me off when I leave, and it just like wasn't able to hear from her, and then like that plus everything I mentioned like at the start of the episode, it was just like another time I'll go try to visit her because she is always down for me to go visit. Because we've talked about how I honestly don't know when I'd be able to see her again at a con because she's kind of like retired-ish from the con life. Yeah,
she just does her thing in her house and her pool with all her animals, all her reptiles.
Oh my God. Yeah. But yeah, TikTok is merciless, honestly. And I'm just very confused at some other females that do what you described that would get you banned, but they're still up.
Yeah, it's very weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So that's why I've been so hesitant about TikTok is because like, well, I don't know what I want to do because I can't show my butt on TikTok because then I get bannerinoed.
Yeah.
Can't even show my butt on Twitter. I don't like post butt pics on Twitter because like the app, it has like a skin catching algorithm. Like sometimes I'll be even like a tan colored like shirt or something, and it'll get flagged. So yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, they're merciless. That's okay. Like, yeah, what generally happens is that this happened with Instagram because I was on Instagram like early-ish, so that I was able to just blow up, with terms of service skirting content. And
Okay.
And as these platforms get more and more people on them, they have to run ads because they have to stay profitable because they're companies, and then ads are like, well, we don't want our ads running if some girl has her butt there, so we need to cramp down on the butt posts, and accounts like that getting suppressed. They have new rules. They'll permaban you. And like it happened with Facebook, and it's happening with Instagram, and it's happened with Instagram because I think Instagram is pretty much done. It will happen with TikTok, and I think TikTok is already starting to happen. And same with Twitter. Twitter was weird because Twitter used to be generally okay with stuff because you could post full blown porn on Twitter. And I mean, your account gets flagged as sensitive, and your posts don't get promoted by the algorithm. Like they're all hidden and you have to seek them out, but you can post them and you won't get your account removed. Right. But it's not about kids, it's about advertisers.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I don't think the children know it's the advertisers. They just don't want their soap ad next to like this porn gif,
Yeah.
And I'm sure TikTok is the same. So you just have to wait till the next thing that everybody goes to. It's like Patreon. Patreon's dead. Like nobody does Patreon anymore because like they blew up. They started to become more mainstream. When more mainstream stuff takes interest, the more like societal fringe kind of
mainstream. More people wanting to invest in the company, and
so they got to clean up their act. And OnlyFans tried to do that, and then they backed up, which was probably smart of them, in my opinion.
But, oh God, that mass exodus that happened.
I don't know if it was totally mass, but it did scare them because like now there's Fansly and like I think it was Amarath. She ran that Streamer Royale, which was really amusing. I loved it because like Tasis and Artosis were casting it, and I'm like, oh, I know them, StarCraft. I understand. I'm like, I don't know anything. Well, I didn't know most of the other streamers. Like I know who Jenna is, I know who Peach Stars is. But like,
Was
but
the only
everybody
choice
else was
too.
like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and I know who Charlie, like Moist Critical was, even though he wasn't there, his like avatar was there. But
Okay,
yeah, it was all sponsored by Amarath and Fansly. So like you sort of see that that little OnlyFans oopsie, like Fansly exists. So
yeah. Oops. Oh boy.
but there'll be like a new TikTok or the next thing that all the fringe of society and the kids will get away from the sort of mainstream, and that's where you can sort of grow and do all that. You just have to jump on it fast. That's the challenge.
Fast enough before it gets suppressed.
That's right.
And thus the cycle begins anew.
That's right.
And capitalism kills us all.
Wow. Let's not go there. because capitalism is the reason that I'm able to do what I do, and I'm very blessed and lucky to be able to do what I do. Yeah. I have strong feelings when people shit on capitalism because like, yeah, some parts of it suck, but what the alternative is worse.
Yeah.
History shows, at least.
I would love to be in a place where I could do like this full time or podcasting, or no, not the same thing twice. Streaming full time, but I'm still having a struggle to like just break into the making it into an affiliate.
How often do you stream?
That's the thing for me. I typically will stream only on the weekends.
Yeah, that's like the thing with Twitch is I think people who there's like for Twitch you have to be consistent. You have to put a lot of hours in, and a lot of these hours are not, you have to love it because these hours aren't netting you any income, right? Like for me, streaming just wasn't worth it. It was not like I'm very introverted and I don't really enjoy, it takes a lot out of me to stream and be entertaining and be obnoxious because I'm obnoxious, but I'm not extroverted. I find it very exhausting. And because like streaming just wasn't a good way for me to spend my time, like income wise, I just couldn't justify doing it because it's not something I particularly enjoyed. Like I enjoy games, I enjoy engaging with my fans and talking to people, but I enjoy playing games by myself more. So it's like you have to and I think if I really wanted to pursue streaming, I would have probably given up maybe cosplay and stuff a long time ago. So I don't like, I love cosplay, I love making shit, I love like photo shoots, I love all that kind of stuff. Like streaming, not for me. But my understanding is you have to be entertaining and you have to be very consistent, and you have to realize that you have to enjoy doing it so that it is easier for you to be entertaining and consistent. Because I enjoy cosplay, and I know people who cosplayed and it's clear that because they stopped, they just didn't enjoy cosplay. They enjoyed more of their friends in the convention more than the act of making things. Sure. I think.
Yeah. But for you, it's just more you love the whole creative process.
Yeah, I like making shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, God, at the longest I've ever streamed was, I believe, 4 hours. And that's still like not even breaking the mold of some other streamers that I know that do it for like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. And I look at them like, how the hell do you have that energy? I'm done after 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
like, how
on that boat.
And like I recently made the jump into VTubing. So I have a PNG tuber of an avatar that I had commissioned many years ago. But even still, it's just like, I used to stream on my long days after work where I would work a normal 9 to 5, but then like 5 o'clock comes around, takes me 30-ish minutes to get home. It's almost 6. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Like I don't, if anything, if I were to like increase my streaming time, it would be on like these days where I work on 9 to 12. Because then I have a lot more time to just. But even then, like when 1 or 2 o'clock comes around, I'm like, I want to take a nap.
Yeah, it's a lot. Streaming is a lot of work. VTubing as a streamer is just as much work. You just aren't you almost have to play character. It almost might be more difficult in a sense. I think that you have to be real. You have to be lucky. I don't attribute my like success because like on a bell curve of success, I'm not as successful as a lot of my peers, and like I'm so happy for them. Like I never say I'm not successful, you know what I mean? But I'm just very, very lucky, and I just did everything at the right
Yeah.
time, and I have an
Yeah.
insane work ethic. Ask anybody who knows me, they will tell you I'm crazy. I work all the time, and it's like,
Yeah.
and some people could say that's a problem. Like Maru works way too hard. She doesn't leave her house. She doesn't talk to anybody. She just works endlessly, and that's what I do. I work endlessly, and I make sure my effort like goes in a good direction, because you can work endlessly and not have your work go in a good direction. It could be like a net negative. So yeah, it's a lot of work, and it's
Yeah.
consistency over time. Like I've been cosplaying for like 10 years now, so it's a lot of time. And
Yeah.
and it's only been in the past couple years that I've actually been able to do this full time. It's crazy. Like it
Yeah.
is. And you know, and there are people who are more successful from me, and I'm like, yeah, get that bag, man. Get the bag.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Hopefully, like I definitely want to keep doing this, because I mean, I love podcasting. It got me some really wonderful opportunity. It made me a lot of awesome memories as a result. So I definitely want to keep this up. I can try to revamp my stream schedule again, see how that works, but it's just all in the energy that I have, because a
Yeah,
lot of
well,
time
and
I'm
it's
just
like
yeah.
you will make time for things you really want to do, right? Like I really loved cosplay, so I make time for it. I really wanted to play Elden Ring, so I made time for it. So like there's almost like a subconscious like indication of like, at least for me, of like, if you're not making time for it, do you really enjoy it? Like, do you really
No,
want to
I
do it?
100% get that. 100%. Like I definitely feel the same way. Like yeah, if I enjoyed streaming, then I would be doing it a lot more. But I mean, like I guess at this point, it's just still like a little hobby for me to do.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
hang out with some friends and just I don't know. Maybe it'd be best to just keep it that way. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Something
like
to think
it's
about.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's also nothing wrong with like having a normal like 9 to 5 job and like doing this as a hobby. Like that's what I did for the longest time. I just had my normal 9 to 5 job, and I was really lucky. My job was easy, and I worked in an office, and I helped, and yeah, and I was able to just uh, spend all my energy because my job was pretty easy, and I just do cosplay on the side. So there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Like you could do that too. Like I know tons of, I think most people do that, right? And that's like, and
I
honestly, like
believe so. Yeah. Yeah. It
if like for me, like don't have all your eggs in one basket. Like I'm on tons of different platforms, and I get income, and I generate income from like 4 or 5 different platforms, and it was the same when I had my job, right? It was just another way for me to generate income for myself to live the life that I want to live.
mm,
So like even if you work your 9 to 5 job and you have a couple hobbies that like generate a little bit of income on the side, like that's great too. Like it's like you have like different streams of income, and most people who make money, they don't do one thing. They do like lots of little things, and all the little things add up to like, you get your money and you're like,
yeah.
yay, go buy things, yay.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
said I don't
Exactly.
have to worry about like my cat's medical bill, right? Like our cat, she gets UTIs like, once or twice a year, because
Oh,
that
jeez.
was one of the conditions of one of her little conditions that she has. Like her urinary tract is like not Gucci. My cat's weird. I don't know. Like she's so weird. Like she's the greatest. We love her to bits, but yeah, and like if she gets an infection, like we're like, oh yeah, we'll just take her to the vet, because we're very lucky that we have lots of places that we generate money from, so it's not a problem. You can take care of Franny. I don't even know where she is. Usually she's like, since I'm talking, usually she'd be around, but I don't know. I think it's hot where I live, like more warm than usual, and we live in an apartment with a lot of
Right now.
carpet.
Yeah.
So the cat likes to lay on the tile because it's cold on the tile.
Oh,
like our one little area of tile is her spot.
Yeah. Yeah. Kai, my kitten, he's gonna get neutered next month after his first vet appointment, because he'll be 6 months at that time frame. So I mean, I'm looking at either. I am hoping just at least very similar vet bills to when I got Tifa, the mom, into her first vet appointment, and then sooner after, I had to push her spay because she had just had the kitten.
Yeah.
I didn't want to give her that much stress because I mean they were all 5 of them were going at her for milk. Didn't want to do that to her, but I'm preparing for it. The little small financial hit I'm gonna take, but they make me happy.
That's right.
So,
you love your animals, so you do whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think that is a solid place to wrap up.
All right, sounds
All about the
good.
cats. Yeah. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully, Maru, you feel the same.
Yeah, I had tons of fun. And I was
Yeah.
happy to tell you about my country.
Yeah, happy to tell you about mine, I guess, sort of. Oh God. In that case, Maru, where can people go if they want to support your work or follow what you do?
You can just follow me on Twitter at MaraWins. I'm on Twitter all the time. If you so choose and feel generous with your coin, you can be a $1 patron on my Patreon, which is the same name, MaraWins. If
All
not,
right.
that's cool too. But the Twitter
Yeah.
follow would be rad.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much on Twitter exclusively now, always. But you can catch me on Twitter, other social media sites, Twitch, at Blue Lightning Cost. And with that being said, I will hopefully have another new episode for you guys in a couple of weeks. Again, thank you so much, Maro, for your time and for chatting with me about all the recent cons you've been to. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, I will see you guys all in the next episode.